She engaged.
Hey,
Okay. Cut.
Hey guys.
Welcome to our first YouTube channel video that we are posting. It's about our story, how we became fiancés from friends. And she came up with this creative title and deserves all the love. She put this together, and if you see the page and everything, it's all her beautiful artistic work, which the world will come to appreciate at some point.
For those of you who don't know, I'm Jemima, but I go by Jemmy.
My name is Shalom, and I go by Shalom.
Yeah. And welcome to our page. We're so excited that you're here. A little bit about us. We are an intercultural, multi-ethnic couple. I am Congolese and American. Intercultural, that's a word.
I don't think that means what we're trying to...
Is it really? Okay.
Okay, it's okay. I know what you meant.
Okay.
We'll have to look it up, and we'll put the definition on the video. That'd be pretty fun.
We might be wrong. Whatever.
We're a multi-ethnic
Couple. So diving right in, we're gonna start with how we met. Do you wanna go first?
Yeah. I mean, I think we both would have the same story because we met each other.
You'd be surprised.
Well, so I met her at a friend's event. I saw her and she was so pretty, and I just was like, I need to go and tell her how beautiful she is. So I went and told her, hey, you look beautiful. And then I walked away. And I think you said thank you.
I said thank you.
But then I didn't know, I didn't have anything to say after that. And so I just left. You know, we were just like hanging out, so.
Yeah. Let me just jump in really fast.
Okay.
So, at this friend's house that we were at, a little context, we had known each other in college. We met in college. We had known each other since freshman year, but we didn't really have any interaction until that year, like sophomore year, right? I think. It's okay, I'm right. And when you came up to me at that party and told me that I looked pretty and beautiful, I was like, thank you. But I was also dating my ex at the time. So, that was a little, but honestly, it was just like a really simple compliment. And I appreciated it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty chill.
I'm super chill, I know.
So yeah, that was the very first conversation that we ever had. And this was like sophomore year of college. And we didn't become friends until like late sophomore year.
Yeah, the dark times of COVID.
COVID-19.
And there was a lot of things happening, from political strife in the country and
BLM.
people just there's a lot of things like riots and protests were happening, but she was quite an activist during that time, so she was speaking for the people who were being treated not great. So I, watching all of this, was intrigued by her, piqued my interest, and I was DMing her. And at this point, we had just talked on the phone through our church group.
Yeah.
And we just talked on the phone, just getting to catch up with each other. And actually getting to know one another as friends. So our friendship started over FaceTime because of COVID, because I wasn't at school, I was back at home.
Same.
About 3 hours away, but you were still around the school area.
Yeah, I was still in the same city, so I got to see more people than you did, I feel like.
Yeah. But yeah, we had I just remember this one FaceTime call, and we ended the call, but she had to go somewhere, and I was like, okay, well, I'll probably talk to you whenever I come back to Raleigh, or if that ever happens. But then she was like, wait, I need to know more. I need to hear more. Can we call again another time? And I was like, okay. This is a cool friend of mine.
Friend. And honestly, that's what I thought we were gonna be. I remember thinking at that time in 2020, like, he is gonna be like my guy best friend. Like, he just seems like a person that I vibe with, very like creatively, but also personally. I was like, yeah, he's just like a cool guy. Like, I think we could be really good friends. And during that time, like, we didn't really even like do anything flirty until way later on in the year, but we were just friends in the beginning. And this went on for like 6 months of friendship, right? Over the phone, nothing suspicious going on.
I was also dating somebody at that time.
Yeah, and then that summer, we had both gotten out of our relationships, and we just kind of like helped each other heal, I guess. And there's just a lot going on. So I was really thankful to like have you as like a good friend, you know, during that time.
Oh. Me too.
Hey.
So how we started dating is the question. So yeah, we had been talking for a couple months now. Apparently I've been sending flirtatious DMs to her Instagram account.
What do you mean apparently?
Because I...
Stop the cap.
I didn't really think much
Stop
of
the
it.
cap.
Although she was the only girl I was DMing at that time, so maybe, you know, that's a good thing, right?
Yeah, it is.
But I don't know. It's just like as a friend type thing that I thought. But yeah, I mean, I could see the way it came off was definitely flirtatious. Maybe I was just like that and I didn't know it.
You just had it in ya.
Yeah.
Just a flirty guy by nature.
Anyways, going back to the question, how we started dating, right?
Yeah.
So at this time, you know, we talked, you know, like once a week or so, or we would text throughout the week, and then I had still only like really seen her. It's been a couple years, maybe not a couple years, maybe a year since I've really seen you in person, right? And so I had forgotten how beautiful she was. And I hadn't seen her in a while, and the Wi-Fi was just not great for either of us. I guess the pixels was just, you know, I mean, yeah. So I wasn't like super attracted to you because I just don't think I really saw you in person until I did see you in person, which changed the game.
Yeah. So our friends planned a camping trip in the middle of like winter. It was November. Yeah.
Middle of winter.
November is the beginning of winter. Just kidding. Okay, they planned a camping trip to the mountains of Virginia in November. I want to let y'all picture how cold it was. Whatever you think it was, times by 10. It was so cold. I remember waking up in the middle of the night like 5 times, praying it was sunlight, and it was still dark, and I would cry myself back to sleep. It was so cold. Couldn't feel my legs. Couldn't feel my toes, could barely sleep. That's how cold it was. It was so cold. Anyway, so
she's talking about the wrong kind of thing right now.
I know, let's get back on track. So we go on this trip, and it's really, really cute. We kind of hang out. We're driving in the same car. You have your guitar, and you're singing me songs in the car. It's so cute, and staring at me like you've fallen in love. And then, you know, you walk with me on the hike up to the mountain, and you know, just really cute stuff. It was really, really adorable. And then I remember we were at this on this rock at nighttime. We were staring into the stars, and the sky was so beautiful and so clear. We just kept looking at each other, and I missed a couple shooting stars because I was not paying attention, but it was really sweet. And I was like, oh man, I think he likes me. And he did.
I did.
You did!
Yeah. I mean, when you came to our friend's house, we were meeting up to like discuss the plans for the trip, and I was staying with this friend, and he was like, called you, and he was like, come over so we can discuss the plans, even though there was really nothing to discuss, but he knew that I was like, I don't know, potentially thinking about her.
Shout out to James. Your real one.
I don't want to say his name, but okay.
Well, I mean, they're not gonna. There's so
All
many
right,
James
so many
in the
James
world.
out there, but James, there's only a couple that we know. Anyways.
They don't know.
Anyways, James, your name's already out there. So he invites you over, and I was like, I wonder if she's here, and I like look at the blinds to look at you, and you were right there, and you saw me looking at the blinds, and James, he's like, oh, he's been standing at the blinds all day waiting for you. It's only been like the first time I went up there.
Isn't that so funny? The first time you happen to see if I was there, I'm there. And I just see you like peeping through the blinds. And I'm like, what is up with this guy?
But also you told me that you were there for a while before you walked in. Must have been nervous too. I knew it.
I don't remember telling you that.
I mean, I figured that was the nervous part I added. So now that laugh confirmed.
Shut up. After that trip, we take some time, to pray and seek counsel from our friends and all of that. And then I think a week later, we decide that we want to try dating, And it was really tough, a tough decision because number one, we were still like long distance and virtual. You were still in the city that you were in, and I was in like our college city. And COVID was still kind of this unknown thing, so we really didn't know how separated we would be and for how long. And it was just a really difficult decision, but I'm happy we made it, obviously. And yeah, we started dating.
Yeah.
Okay, when did you know that you loved me, and when did you know that you wanted to marry me?
So I have two stories. Maybe not two stories, but the first instance I was like, I know I could spend my time and waste my hours with her, was when we like shared different things we love to do, like things that we like want to explore together, like poetry or songs, songwriting, and all that is all you, and I like words in general and messing around with poems and things like that, and I'm not like trained in any of that, but we enjoyed doing that together, and I enjoyed like playing the guitar for fun and having her sing, and I knew also that I could just be just like myself around you, and I think I knew that in a couple months of hanging out and talking on the phone, it was easy for me to talk about Jesus or talk about something funny or something sad. All of it was something that I could share with you, and it was like a couple months, like I already knew that I want to like love you as my own, Mm-hmm. And I think that the moment when I was like, I want to marry her is when I made a mistake. We were like cooking at a friend's house, and I don't know if you remember this. I think you do, but I was cooking, and I think I like spilled something, and it fell on the food fell on the ground, and like stuff was everywhere. Maybe not everywhere, but it was everywhere, and and you remember. And she, the first thing that she was asking me, like, or the first thing she said to me was, "Are you okay?" Instead of, and she like was like tending to like whatever, because she thought I got burnt or something, because it was like a hot food we were cooking, and I think that just was like super loving and cute and adorable. I was like, oh, like you care more about my well-being than food or whatever I messed up on, or like me being perfect among her friends, or having the perfect image. And I appreciated that a lot. I was like, man, that's the first story. I guess like later that day also, like I think we shared a lot of like trauma that we might have experienced in our life, especially like things that you went through. And I was like, not only does she care for me, but she trusts me with her with the things that she dealt with in the past. And I wanted to see and protect her for the rest of my life. And that's when I was like, I want to marry her. And that was like probably like 8 months in our relationship. So not too far long into it that I was like, I know this is the woman I want. You know, this is the woman I want to protect and care for, because I know she'll care for me. And I know she'll trust me to do that for her. So yeah.
Cute. I like that. But for me, I think I knew I loved you. I don't think there's a specific time. I think maybe around 6 months, but I'm not really sure specifically. But I knew that I loved you when I found myself just being like 100% myself, 100% just like unapologetically me. Because I'd been in relationships where I could, and you guys know what I mean, like you can feel yourself like holding back. Like you can feel yourself not fully allowing yourself to just be you. And you know, it sucks. It really does suck. Kind of feeling like no one really knows all of you, you know? And so for me, when I was just able to just like be myself, and not only that, but like be fully myself, but also you like caring for me still, caring for me to the same degree, with the same passion, with the same aggression, like I was like, wow, like this is someone that I will love forever, you know? And so that was kind of my moment where I'm like, yay, like I can be me, and he's not running away in fear. Because I'm crazy. Y'all don't know. I am crazy. But I hide it under a mask. Just kidding. Just kidding. I sound psycho. That's when I knew that I loved you. But I knew I wanted to marry you a little bit before our 1 year anniversary. I had gone through something really traumatic and stressful, and it was a really tough season for me mentally at a certain point. And I just remember you just being there, just being my rock, being my confidant, like helping hand, but also just like loving me hard through that, even though I knew it took a toll on you. And it was really like a really dark period in my life, and thus it was in your life, because our lives affected each other in just a very close way. And you just worked so hard to like take care of me and protect me and make sure that that never happened again. And I was like, yeah, I need a man like this when things get like really tough. Like he's not gonna run away. I need a man who like knows what it looks like to like fight for someone, you know? And because you did that for me so early on, I'm completely convinced that you will continue to fight for me, for us, for yourself, like for the rest of our lives. So, yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about engagement. I think it was a very interesting season. It was an interesting era of time, because I don't like the word season anymore, so I'm just gonna use the word
season.
era.
Okay, era. Rebrand. Era.
We definitely had talked at this point, like 2 years in, we've talked at this point that, you know, that December, because our anniversary is November, and we were like, let's get engaged December, and things just weren't working out, you know, because in Indian culture, and this is where culture really plays a harder and more deeper role in our lives, because culture really affects the way you live and what it looks like to make huge life decisions like getting married. And we definitely had to go through a process of understanding each other's cultures and where our parents are, and how in regards to what they think about engagement, and thinking about how to communicate with them, because their idea of engagement is very different from mine and America's in general. And so, especially in the Indian culture, where engagement is very familial, where families meet together and set a date and all of that, right? But in America, it's very individualistic, where the man and the woman kind of do that. Not to say that that doesn't happen in Indian culture or with Indian people, but it's not the official engagement. You know, there's almost like 3 stages: the proposal between the man and the woman, and then the engagement, and then there's marriage. But in American culture, proposal and engagement happens at the same time. And so it's, maybe I'll go at it at a different time, but had to discuss a lot of that. And you know, we also want to figure out where and how you're gonna stay, like living situation, and figuring out all of that. And since we're long distance, we want to be in the same city, and it would look bad if she just came to my city but I didn't give her a ring to show her my commitment to her. Not to live together, but for her just to be around and plan with me, and you know, plan a future with each of us in our lives. And so engagement seemed like what God had put in my heart, and I had been praying over this for months, and both of us prayed over it for months. And eventually all the parents, you know, like understood what we're talking about and why we wanted to do this and why it's important. And God anointed the day, and He gave us the resources to get her this ring. And you know, the same way that I'm positive He'll provide for us for our wedding. And so yeah, and so yeah, that's kind of the story of how we became friends to fiancé. I don't know if you want to talk more on the engagement part.
So yeah, let me just jump in really fast. I mean, everything you said, I agree 100%. Another thing that's kind of been going through our minds today, at least when we were talking about wedding planning and all of these different things, he said something that was like really profound to me. He's like, you know, there was a time where we were like praying and fasting for engagement, and now it's here. And as I was like kind of spinning out in my anxious cycle about wedding planning and money and all of those different things that go into that, you were telling me like one day, like, we're gonna be married and we'll be praying and fasting for something else. So know that, like, you know, there's never like a time where you don't like wait for something expectingly, and there's never a time where you're not like going through struggles. And yeah, I fully agree with that. Like, I am so excited we're engaged. It feels like heaven, it feels like bliss. I'm so excited. But I'm now anxiously waiting for marriage, and honestly, I'm really excited for that too. When we're married, there'll be something else we're waiting for, and then something else we're waiting for after that, you know? So I think taking time just to enjoy the era that you're in is really good. It's really helpful, at least for me.
And to have peace.
And to have peace about it, yeah.
And the peace comes from the Lord.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that is our story from friend to fiance. You were my friend, and now you're my fiance. I can't even wink. You have to say it about me. I'm your friend, and now I'm your fiance.
Yeah, she was my friend, and now she's my fiance.
And guys, that's a wrap on our very first YouTube video. I think we did pretty okay for our first time. The light just kind of kept going down and down and down, but it's okay. We have a ring light. But yes, thank you guys so much for being here. We cannot wait to share more of our lives. If you definitely want to see some specific videos, make sure to drop them in the comments below. Hit subscribe and bell notification. Ding, ding, ding. So you know when we drop more videos. We're so excited to invite you guys into all the wedding planning fiasco, as well as the moving fiasco, and literally everything in our life is going to change in the next year or so. So I'm so excited to just like bring you guys in, and it's going to be awesome.
Bye
everyone.
Peace. Thanks for watching. This is Jemmy and Sugar
out.